Hey guys, welcome to my second and final part of my out-of-box review for the Perfect-Grade Astray red frame. Once again, this is a bootleg kit. This is made by Daban, a bootleg or a third-party company. It's not made by Bandai, and once again, I just should say that I don't promote anyone buying bootlegs. I just wanted to show you guys what this kit is like and talk a bit about the kit itself. So yeah, now that it's done, as I mentioned in my part 1 of the review, I was very impressed with the quality of the kit, and now that it's finished, I have to say that I am still very impressed with the quality of this kit. The plastic quality is good. Once again, it doesn't feel soft. There's not really very much flash anywhere on the kit. Not any more than you would just have in a normal Bandai kit. Everything fits together very well. There are a few parts on the inner frame where some parts fit very tightly. Those are a little bit difficult to put together, but they do go together perfectly fine. You just have to press them pretty hard. That is, to be honest, a problem that I would much rather have. It's much better than parts fitting too loosely. So it's really not all that bad. And with the outer armor, there's really no problems at all. Everything fits together very well. I'm not really having any problems with anything falling off. If you saw the first part of the review, you saw that the legs do come off at the hip kind of easily if you're moving the kit around too much, just because the peg, which is the die-cast metal part in the hip where the legs plug onto there, that peg is a little bit short, I think, so if you're moving it around, the legs can come off there a little bit. The same actually does go for the arm. I had the arms pop off a couple times. But I don't believe that that's the fault of this being a bootleg. I think that's just the fault of the design of the kit in general. So, that being said, there are a couple other areas where I think this kit does suffer a bit from the design. Namely, one of them would be here on the side skirt armor. As you can see, the side skirt armor is very small, and it's actually made in a certain way to kind of open, and it has a mechanism for how you mount the sword there, and I'll show you that here in a bit when I talk about the weapons and the accessories. But just the way that the side skirt fits onto the kit, it fits too closely so that it's right up against the front skirt armor and the back skirt armor. All the skirt armor is very small, which looks very cool for this kit. I like it, but this side armor piece is so close to the kit, so it's kind of hard. You can't really move it very easily without rubbing on the front and back skirts. That's not really too much of a problem, but once the kit's painted, that means every time you're moving this, you're probably going to be scratching paint. So just something to be wary of. This kit does have a lot of very cool features, and I showed you a lot about the articulation in part 1, but now that we've got all the armor on, let's take a closer look at some of the articulation once again. Alright, and let's start with the head. The head is still just going up about that far. Pretty good, I think. Down like that. Very nice. This really long part sticking out of the front is very cool. Kind of unique part of this design. I like that. So I did just put a battery into the LED unit here, so here it is on. It's orange, and that just slips into the back of the head here like this. Pop that in. There you go, it's coming on and it's coming out the top camera just a little bit, but let's put on the cover. Like so. So that covers up the back of the head once again. And there's the front. And with the lights off, there it is. Looks pretty cool. And here's what it looks like on the kit. I think that orange color is gonna actually go very nice with the previously mentioned color scheme. So there's that. Let me see if I can make this a little bit more visible. Nope. Anyway, very cool. The cockpit still opens up the same. It pulls out away from the chest, and then the door opens like that, and inside the pilot is in there. Close that back up. Here's kind of waist, stomach articulation. The parts are there to articulate it, but either my kit is too tight or it just isn't really all that much articulation. It just doesn't really move as much as it looks like it should. But here in the shoulders, we're getting some nice articulation up and down and forward and back. The arms are still going up because now that the shoulder armor is on there, the arm still isn't really hindered too much by it. The arms still go up almost to 90 degrees to the body. And there you can see the arm popped off a bit. But once again, I think that's just because of the length of that peg. It's just not quite long enough. And now I'm pulled off that piece too. Once again, this is just because I'm flailing the kit around too much because I'm trying to show it to you guys hastily. The arm will rotate. Let me just show you guys. Just take it off. The arm will rotate at the top there, and when you kind of bend the arm, you can see some pieces are going to move there. That piece in the back is going to drop down. You can see this nice bend there as well. And the hands are quite nice. It took quite a lot of time to clean up everything on the fingers, but that's just kind of normal. So that's kind of nice that the hand cover is two parts there, so you get a little bit of a bend, it looks like, in that part. What's cool on the back of the arm, how you mount the shield is there, and I'll go over that in a bit when we take a closer look at the weapons. Okay, and turning the kit around to the back, we can see the backpack, which we didn't see in part 1. It's very small, very minimal, just moves a little bit like that. It's pretty basic. It looks even kind of stupid in my opinion, because we have this like really big complicated kit and then just like this tiny little backpack thing, a little booster thing. Not very impressive. There's a couple the clear green parts on there. The beam saber handles do plug in to there, and they're pretty secure in those parts. There, this back skirt piece does move up and down a little bit like that. The back skirts themselves are on ball joints, so they're going to move a little bit as a ball joint would. The front skirt's kind of two different front skirt pieces. The white part is on a ball joint, and this red part does move a little bit as well. So if you wanted to move that up, you could do it like that. The leg, let's take a leg off to show you the leg itself. As you can see, when we bend it, we're getting quite a lot of movement there. This armor is shifting on the thigh, the knee part is coming up, the back of the knee is folding back, and then here down below, when we bend this, these front and back pieces are kind of shifting like that. Of course the foot is going down about that much, not all that much, but it can go forward very far. And even from side to side motion, this is a little bit tight as well, but there is, these side parts will shift from side to side ever so slightly. Might be kind of hard to see, but like I said, it is very slight. And this armor piece on the front moves along with the red parts like that. So a lot of really cool movement in there. And that is about it for the articulation, really. I mean, it's pretty basic. It's very good, but pretty basic. It's just what you would expect, I suppose. So let's take a look at the accessories. Pull this back a bit. First of all, we've got a bunch of extra parts. These are all parts from the Perfect-Grade Strike. So it's mostly inner frame stuff, and then there's a few parts. I think these are for like the waist armor and the arms maybe. That's all extra. We've got the two big clear pink beam effect parts that are a little bit sparkly inside. If you can see that, a bit of sparkle there. And I realized I forgot to show you what the beam effect part actually looks like in the beam saber. So putting that in, very tight fit there, but there you go, there's that. Looks quite nice. I actually really like the look of this. This handle is very unique. Pretty cool. Concerning these things, in the first unboxing video I said these go inside the sword sheath. In the second video I said they go on underneath the feet. I was right both times actually, because there are parts that do go inside the sword sheath and there are parts that go underneath the feet. So just to be clear, those go on both. There is still one more little green part there that goes in the sight of the beam rifle. I haven't put that in yet. And then we've got the shield. It's a really nice shield actually. It's got a little bit of weight to it because especially the white part is quite heavy, and so it feels good. I mean, a shield should feel solid because it's a shield. Now this window part is really cool because you can see there's a switch there. You can actually put that down, and that is the same clear green that we've got on different parts of the kit. So there's a clear green piece in there. You can flip that up to close that little window up. Then of course the handle can move up and down on this track. That's cool. It can't rotate at all, but it just folds up and down and slides like that. Then how you mount the shield, you saw me before, you pull out, see there's a peg here, and I'm not quite sure what you can use that peg for in this form. I guess if you turn it around you could mount it just on the back of the arm like that, but what we want to do is mount it so that the shield is on the side of the arm. So what you do is you pull out one side is just a square connection like that, and the other side has a hinge. So pull it out like that, and then you have to rotate it around like this. And then let's take off the arm for ease of showing you here. This part, see we got this little latch. You pull this part off and it folds up like so. Just keep it like that to show you. And then there's the peg inside. Take this, just plug that in like that. That's plugged in. Then you can fold that back down like that, and then that's what the arm looks like when the shield is mounted, and then the shield is bending like that. So let's plug that back onto there. Better. And no issues there at all with the weight. Let's put it up. Like I said, the shield is heavy, but it's not that heavy that the strength of the inner frame can't hold it up, so that's no problem there. Then the beam rifle. As I mentioned in the unboxing, I do really like this beam rifle. It's slightly different from the Perfect-Grade Strikes. I think it's just like the back and this top part is a little bit different, I think. It's really not that different, but slightly. But it is different. It's pretty basic in the construction. The handle has a groove there to fit into the hand. The trigger is actually its own piece. Let's see, I think you can move it slightly. Yeah, you can actually kind of pull the trigger, sort of. It doesn't really do much of any good. This secondary handle can be swiveled around to either side, like so, and it fits into the hand very nicely. Just there's a peg inside there. Focus that up. There's a peg, and it's going to be very hard to see from this angle, but give me a second, I'm going to do my best. Okay, so once again, yeah, it was much easier to take the arm off to mount that because it's just kind of hard to see what you're doing when you're trying to put it on while the arm is still on the kit. So that's that. And then finally, kind of the main attraction of this kit is the sword. Now that's just going to barely fit in the frame there. And let's take a step back a minute. And as you can see, it's taller than the kit itself. It's quite tall. Now here is also one area where I had a problem with this kit, with these gold pieces that are on here. This one on the very end, with this kind of angry face there, when I popped this piece onto the end, it cracked. It's going to be really hard to see on camera maybe, but if you can see, there's that small crack across that piece. So yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Probably going to have to glue that, and probably going to be repainting it anyway. But it's okay. So this is actually, these pieces here are what hold the sheath onto the side skirt armor, but these can pull apart. Trying to do this a little bit carefully. Can pull apart like that, and you can take this part off. So here is the sheath itself actually, and the sword there. And taking out. Now just to mention, this is the plastic one, so this is going to be like what you get in the Bandai version. So there are going to be a couple nub marks on there that are a little bit unsightly, but they're really not all that noticeable. So that just fits inside there very nicely. And then you can use this close that up, and then this little part flips down to hold the sword in. And then let's see, we'll take the arm off once again to show you how to do this. This side skirt armor kind of should, it's very tricky because of that front and back skirt, but it should open up like so, revealing that plug inside, and then this one here just fits into there like so, and there you go. Now it's all set. Now while we got it there, let's take a look at one more thing. We still have these. Now these are the metal versions. We got two of these. These are solid metal katanas. They've got, I think these are exclusive to this version, and like I said, there are two of them. So they look very nice. They're quite heavy. You can see metal there, and let's try this. We'll take out the plastic one and put in the metal one. I haven't done this yet, so let's see, but it looks like that's not gonna fit in. I think the metal one is a little bit thicker. Let's see. Here's the plastic one, and below is the metal version. See, I think the metal version is slightly thicker, so it looks like maybe the metal katanas are not going to be able to fit inside the sheath. That's kind of a pity, but it is still cool to have them. There's some cool posing options. They do have slots in the grip to fit in the hand. I haven't tested that to see how well that works, but they look to be the same as on the plastic version. They've got the same holes there, so should be able to hold the metal version no problem, I think. One other thing about the plastic version is you can see that tiny hole in there. There's this tiny, very tiny gold piece, little peg that fits inside that hole, I don't really understand its purpose, but I think it's just supposed to make the sword fit in there, and I think maybe it's something to do with swords. Maybe swords use a pin like that, so it's kind of trying to be like accurate to how katanas are actually made, but it does fall out sometimes, so you have to be very careful because that would be something that would be super easy to lose. So let's put that back in there for now. And before getting to the last bit, here is just some size comparisons. Here's the 1/144 scale Gundam and a 1/100 scale High New Gundam Verkau. As you can see, the perfect grade is very sizable, as the 1/144 scale Gundam there is coming up just about to his knees, and even the 1/100 is just about to his waist. Of course, this kit is pretty long in the legs. I think it's probably pretty normal, I guess, but the legs do take up quite a lot of the kit. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of difference there. Oh, and another thing that I want to quickly mention is that between the one plastic sword and the two metal swords that we got, so we've got 3 swords, but we've only got one sheath. Now with the Bandai version, there was like a extra set of parts that you could get for this kit that included like some clear parts mostly, but with that set you could also get parts that made like an extension on where the sheath is connected to the skirt armor, and that allowed you to connect 2 katanas onto there. I really wish that Daban would have copied that runner, or those runners. I think it was maybe 2 or 3 runners there that were used for that. I really wish that we would have got those parts so that we could actually mount more than one sword onto the kit. We've got 3, but you can only put 1 on there. So yeah, just wish that we would have got those parts as well. Alright guys, so before we finish up this review, I just want to talk about what my plans are for this kit. I plan on repainting this kit in a very kind of neutral color scheme, almost a grayscale color scheme. I'm getting rid of all the red for the inner frame. Basically what I'm going to do is just make it into just a few different shades of gray. So maybe have like where it's red now for the red frame is just going to be like a darker gray, and then for the white parts it's just going to be a slightly lighter gray, and then maybe the black parts might actually stay kind of black. And then we'll just have some maybe like yellow or orange or purple kind of accent colors here and there on the kit. So that's basically what I want to do with it, is basically take it from being this big red and white kind of bright colors on there and make it just much more toned down and kind of earthy, much more kind of realistic looking. I'll add a little bit of weathering to the kit and just kind of make it look a bit more kind of realistic, which is not exactly the style for this kind of like seed kind of kits. They're very kind of anime looking with their color schemes and stuff. But I want to kind of make it more like a color scheme that you would kind of see from a UC era Gundam kit. So that's my plans for the kit. It's probably not going to be until sometime next year that's going to actually happen, but I am actually looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of work because of course it's a perfect grade, so it's got a lot of pieces to paint, a lot of work to be done. But I think it is going to look really, really cool when it's all done. With that realistic theme, I'm not really sure how the sword is going to fit in. I feel like it's kind of a waste to just do without this sword, but I kind of want to just not use the sword. But I don't know, I think I'll probably use it, or I'll paint it up anyway and just have it with the kit, but it won't really be the main weapon. Basically the main weapon is just going to be the beam rifle and then the beam sabers up there. So that's my plans for this kit, guys. Let's try to finish up this review now. So here it is, guys, all loaded up with everything, the beam rifle, the sword, the shield, and I gotta say it is a pretty nice looking kit for never really being much of a fan of the Astray before. now that I've got it and I've built it, and just the size of the kit too, I think just all of that together makes it a pretty good looking kit. I still don't really like the red all that much. It's okay, actually, it's not that bad, but I am still looking forward to painting this in the previously mentioned color scheme. So yeah, I guess there's not really much else I can say about the kit. I still would recommend you get the Bandai version if you can. If you really can't afford it, this is definitely a option for you. I'm not gonna say it's a good option, and again, I don't want to recommend anyone to buy a bootleg kit, but you know, if you are gonna buy it, just have it in your mind that this is it's a pretty nice kit. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I've got the unboxing of the Perfect Grade Unicorn, which I just got in today. I've got that unboxing video coming up next, and then a bunch of other videos that I've got lined up. Basically, I was waiting to finish this kit before I could show you the other videos that I've got, but I think I've got like 5 or 6 or 7 like that are waiting. So I'm trying to keep them in order, and this one was first. So now that we've finished taking a look at this kit, we can move on, and I've got a lot of other stuff coming up, including the Gunpla Hangout. That's going to be on Gunpla Fixation's channel, so please, if you're free, watch that. Check out Gundam Fixation on Facebook, where he's got all the details about that. That's coming up on Saturday, December 27th, New York time. It's the 5 p.m. For here in Korea, that's going to be 7 a.m. on Sunday morning, and actually I'm going to be in Japan at that time, so I'll be doing that from Japan. So if you're free, watch that, or you can watch it later on Gunpla Fixation's channel, on Jim's channel. So thank you guys for watching this, and I'll see you soon.